Hello everyone, a very good evening to all of you. Welcome to the session. Please let me know if I am properly audible, visible to you. Okay. So I'm assuming that I'm like still audible and visible to all of you. Oh, now I can see. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, those who are watching me for the first time, you don't know me. I'm your faculty of English on Crack Grade B, formerly Crack Grade B, now CGB Mentors, and I am taking regular sessions on this channel. I will quickly give you my schedule, and it is Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays over here. 1:30 p.m. where I take classes for CSAT. We are covering the topic of RC. Then I also take classes on our other channel Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturday 1:30 p.m., which is CGB IBPS Hub. There I am covering SBI PO mains content. Now here, this is our special session. A dynamic session covering every aspect required for you to prepare English at 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday on this channel. Okay, absolutely free classes for all of you and definitely helpful because there are multiple things we do. Segment कुछ इस तरीके से है. We start with skimming, we practice and we learn how to skim. We move to vocabulary part, we learn vocab and phrases. We do grammar where I ask some rule based questions from the passage and ask you to identify some things, okay, grammar wise. And we do some MCQs again based on the passage and error detection questions and all. So it's a whole package for all of you who are maybe going through some time crunch or they have limited time to give to the English language. Here you can attend these sessions and they are power packed. Okay, we'll start with skimming. Again, to remind you, I'm so happy, Abhishek. Thank you so much for your testimony here. Thank you so much. Now, I will tell you what you are supposed to do. Focus on all the subjects and verbs of the sentences in the article. This is taken from the Hindu editorial. So, focus on subject and verb. Try to comprehend most of the meaning from them. And then, if you feel like आगे कुछ पढ़कर और पता चलेगा, you go through it. Don't read complete names. If some long name appears to be back again in the passage, you can simply have a look at it and pass it on. तो वो करना है, लिप सिंक नहीं करनी है. यू शुड जस्ट टेक एन इमेज ऑफ इट इन योर माइंड एंड डोंट रीड आउट. इवन इन योर माइंड डोंट रीड आउट. प्रोनाउंसिएशन पूरा पूरा करके रीड नहीं करना है आपका अपने मन में. तो 2.5 minutes का टाइमर रहेगा आप लोगों के लिए. यू हैव टू कंप्लीट योर आर्टिकल स्किमिंग इन दिस टाइम. तो प्लीज गेट गोइंग. ऑल्सो जल्दी से पहले लाइक और शेयर कर दो, फिर स्टार्ट करना रीड करना. ऑल्सो सब्सक्राइब इफ यू आर न्यू हियर. Once you are done with the whole article, in a line, give me the summary. What you have understood in one line. What is the main thing author is targeting through this? I'll give you 1.5 minutes. I stop the timer in between. You have to complete the article, okay? It should not be just the first half or so. With understanding, honest, okay? I'm not gonna check if you have actually done it or not, but be honest to yourself. Okay. So I want you to give me one liner summary for this one, and I'll start explaining before we go to vocab. Sent messages, something which is already done. That's the grammar part which is helpful here to understand. On Jammu and Kashmir post Pahalgam terror attack. So, with respect to this attack, some steps were taken and messages were sent. New Delhi must act in concert with Srinagar to isolate terrorists. And there is also a suggestion here that New Delhi, the center, must act along with what or concerning Srinagar to isolate terrorists. Okay. अब देखते हैं आगे क्या क्या मिल रहा है. In the aftermath, in the aftermath means post something that has done as a conclusion of something of the gruesome terror incident in Pahalgam. India must hear clearly the message emanating from those who committed the heinous crimes. Author is saying post incident, India must clearly get the message that the culprits are trying to send here. Okay, so it's emanating means coming out of from those people who committed the crime. These were the culprits by targeting tourists by religion and killing them in cold blood. Okay, showing no mercy at all, no remorse at all. That is killing somebody in cold blood. The terrorists have sought to undermine India's plurality and what the country stands for. So it is an attack on the whole India, not just a few tourists, of course. By killing a local Kashmiri who tried to help the hapless tourists who were unable to do anything for themselves, by killing that person who helped them, and by targeting people in a popular location that benefits the Kashmiri economy, the attackers have grievously harmed the livelihoods of thousands of Kashmiris dependent on tourism. So another effect, I would say, of what happened was seen on the popularity and a lot. Again, we saw this yesterday also that so many livelihoods are dependent on tourism, and that part was attacked as well by choosing to attack unarmed tourists at a time when the US vice president was visiting India. Now, this is something, different, I would say. So, the timing of the attack coincided with US president visiting India. They have also sought to undermine the perception. Now, there is another agenda that author sees here in the attack. They have sought to undermine the perception that economic activities have returned to normalcy after the tumultuous period following the abrogation of special status of Jammu and Kashmir. So, just to clear things, that economic activities things have become normal after abrogation of special status Jammu and Kashmir ka. People just started to feel normal, and this happened. The tragic byproduct of killing. Okay, byproduct is like some things along with the main result. There are some other products, other outcomes which we didn't want, but because of the main result, they happen. So the byproduct of the killing is now fear of the possibility that such attacks on tourists may recur. Now, of course, एक fear induce हो गया है that this may get repeated anytime, and of the economic pain that this would cause ordinary Kashmiris. And of course, since tourists are gonna be full of fear, they are not gonna visit Kashmir, and because of that, it is gonna affect the place, Kashmir specifically, and the people, their livelihood specifically. New Delhi's and Srinagar's responses must keep these in mind and work towards the mitigation of fear and send a clear message. So fear के लिए भी कुछ करना पड़ेगा. अकेले एक चीज करने से नहीं होगा. Just to find the culprits, it's not enough. The people of India, including Kashmiris, are united against terror. Everybody is against, including the localites over there. Emphasizing the need for India, especially New Delhi, to coordinate with Srinagar to counter terrorism. The terrorists targeted tourists to damage India's image of plurality and harm. Okay, Tarun, that is one angle, but I'm happy you replied. The terrorists target tourists, which heavily depends on tourism, by attacking. Okay, so this is again a crucial piece of information that you have shared over here. Try to be more specific towards summary. Summary is more like, what happened, nahi, but what out of this, out of the whole detail, what you get to learn. One liner, something like that. आगे पढ़ते हैं second वाला, and we'll get back to the summary part. Following the attacks, New Delhi has sought to use strong diplomatic measures available in its arsenal against Pakistan. इन्हें हमारे पास हमारी in a way, हमारी झोली में जो था, जो power थी, measures थे, diplomatic ones, we have used that. As it is well known that such attacks are almost always carried out by radicalized elements who are trained by Islamabad's covert agencies. So why we are using India is using diplomatic measures against Pakistan? Because such elements who are radical and they show no mercy, and they are, roaming around killing people, they are trained by Islamabad's covert, hidden, secret agencies. As it turns out, the mere absence of spectacular violence cannot be termed normalcy. We cannot call it normal. Normalcy is a relative term, and it is better experienced than announced. We cannot just say something has become normal. We have to actually live it, experience it. Then we can witness it is there or not. While the large-scale violence and militancy that was seen in 1990s never happened, despite the unpopularity of these decisions, the uneasy calm, the calm was there, but it was unsettling, was reflected in the sporadic incidents of terrorism targeting Kashmiri Pandits, migrants, security forces in new areas. The main incident that happened long back, we didn't get to see it again. That large-scale violence, militancy, we didn't get to see. But small episodes of terrorism attacks, we do get to witness, okay, in the areas that were hitherto bereft of militancy. With significant curbs on political activity, there was little outlet even for demands related to governance for the citizenry. So there was some limitations set, okay, because with significant curbs on political activities, special status being changed, and all those things, there was little outlet even for the demands that were related to how to govern the place. The conduct of Lok Sabha elections and the Supreme Court mandated election process allowed for some expression of voices in the valley. So valley में वहाँ क्या हो रहा है, वहाँ किस चीज़ की need है, that demand reached the government somehow, but a little bit of it. But it is a stretch to say that this was normalcy. But of course, things were not back to normal. The union government must work in concert with Jammu Kashmir government, empower Jammu and Kashmir by restoring statehood, and assert this cohesion. Now, there are a couple of suggestions author is giving at the end. The union government must work alongside Jammu and Kashmir government, empower them by restoring statehood, and assert this cohesion to isolate radical and violent elements. Violent elements हैं, radical elements जो हैं, okay, this cohesion working along with the Jammu and Kashmir government, this can help to stay away, to protect oneself from these elements threatening the livelihoods of these people and lives of tourists visiting in the serene valley. So if that could be done, हमारी government अगर वो कर देती है, work on the restoring statehood title of Jammu and Kashmir, and that's how the government will have, that local government will have more power over there to check things, put check on things in fact, तो वो better हो सकता है, ऐसा हमारे author का कहना है. Okay, you have a question about 1990s attack. I can explain the line. Please don't ask me the history part. So you can ask your question. Of the valley. Okay, according to the author, heinous crime must be punished in order to maintain peace. Okay, the first line is true, but again, not the summary part. Um, okay. Attack most many crucial development after end of law that will give special that give the special status of Kashmir. Author is actually asking the government to take this step internally. Like, in India, what we can do is we can work with Jammu and Kashmir to make it a better place. That's why he's citing what happened earlier, what kept on happening, and this is the latest incident. So basically, author is focusing on that. I hope you understand it. थोड़ा सा vocab करते हैं. By that time, I can go through the question. Gruesome. It is an adjective, means extremely unpleasant and horrific. Ghastly, डरावना, भयानक. Let's imagine you. Okay, it's a nasty picture, but please imagine you have seen a bread that has gone bad, mold आ गया उसके ऊपर, black or green. It is unpleasant. Okay, that's simply unpleasant. You would not like to smell or even see it. You will just get it out of my sight. That is not gruesome. Gruesome is something we cannot stand the sight of it for 1 second. है ना, इतना भयानक, the degree extremeness is something that we witness, उसको gruesome बोलते हैं. Okay, emanate करना is coming out or arising from a source. निकलना. I always draw a picture for this word and show to my students because that's how I remember this word. Imagine sun. How do we draw? How we used to draw sun in our school days, है ना, ऐसे करके बनाते थे ना sun. किरणें निकलते हुए, rays coming out of the sun whenever we used to draw scenery or a picture. So just like those rays coming out of a source, this is the context and meaning of the word emanate. Okay, hapless is actually helpless, and I don't understand why we have two similar word. I mean, not similar, but close to each other for the same meaning. So, anyways, anyone who is unfortunate, अभागा, अनलकी, उसको हम hapless बोलते हैं, जो कि ultimately helpless होता है. Tumultuous is full of turbulence. Chaotic, okay, messy है, chaos मचा हुआ है. Okay, there is no peace, no stability. तो अशांत को हम tumultuous बोलेंगे. was वाले words are always adjectives. Mitigation is reducing severity of something, alleviate करना, relief पहुंचाना, calm down करना. Arsenal, in a diplomatic manner, is the set of resources or tools that we use strategically. Some kind of toolkit. आर्सेनल एक्चुअली होता है कि हमारे पास क्या टूल्स है, लिटरली क्या चीज़ें हैं दैट कैन सॉल्व अ प्रॉब्लम. बट इन दिस कॉन्टेक्स्ट इट वाज कि हमारे पास क्या स्ट्रैटेजीज है दैट कैन सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम. हथियारों का संग्रह भी आर्सेनल को बोला जाता है. अब ये हथियार डिप्लोमेटिक हैं, कूटनीति के हैं. कोवर्ट इज सीक्रेट और हिडन. ओके, क्लैंडस्टाइन, अंडरकवर, especially when military or intelligence department, intelligence wing of the country does it. उसको हम उनके operations अगर hidden है, छुपे हुए हैं, तो उसे covert कहा जाएगा, गुप्त रूप से. If you are hiding maybe your gold somewhere, you are not being covert. Okay, it is very specifically used with respect to military, intelligence, some kind of department that is executive department of a country. Sporadic is at irregular intervals. कभी हुआ कभी नहीं हुआ. Irregular, scattered, frequency fixed नहीं है. Bereft अपने साथ off लेकर चलता है. So हर words नहीं होते मैम, but almost words होते हैं. Are you talking about the list that you are able to remember some of the words out of the whole list? Is that what you are saying, Tarun? So, bereft of something is deprived of something, वंचित रखना. Cohesion is unity and cooperation. Cohesion मिलकर काम करना, solidarity. Okay. So we had these words. Now I want you to focus on the grammar part. So there is a quiz, 4 to 5 questions, and then we'll move to another set of questions, the MCQ ones. Give me the subject and main verb of this sentence. I have marked a sentence for you. अच्छा, adjective वाले को लेकर. If there is a word that apart from ous makes a word in itself, okay, then it is an adjective. That's how it is. Give me the subject and verb, okay, as a suffix ous को treat करना है आपको. Come on guys. Can you give me the main verb as well? So if you are giving me a subject which in your eyes you think, in your mind you think is correct, the respective verb should also go in agreement. Mm-hmm. Who relative pronoun? Okay. Yeah, that's true. Who is a relative pronoun? No one else? Okay, I'll show you. This is an easy one, and I remember explaining this earlier. I'll do that again. जभी भी आपका sentence preposition से शुरू होता है, if your sentence is beginning with a preposition, let whatever is attached to preposition get over. Then you will get to see the main subject. So by is a preposition. By killing a local Kashmiri who tried to help the hapless tourist. This is one part getting over, and वापस से by से शुरू हो गया. By targeting people in a popular location that benefits the Kashmiri economy. This part is the introduction. Till now we don't have the subject. Subject is attackers. Attackers have harmed. This is the main subject of my sentence, and have harmed. This is my verb part. Okay. So the attackers have harmed the livelihoods. But how they have harmed, वो मैंने पहले बता दिया sentence में. Okay. So this is how you check a structure that is given to you. I hope this is clear. So main verb is harmed. Is the helping verb part, and attackers is the main subject of the sentence. Okay. In fact, the only subject of the sentence. Okay. Give me part of speech of this word. Main verb. मैंने आगे से. No. See, we have to be careful ना. When a sentence is given to be checked in error detection, तो आपको ना main subject को ही check करना है. बाकी अगर relative pronoun का कोई antecedent है, I think you want to say that, उसका respective verb भी check करना है हमें. That was Kashmiri, उसका help and all that, tried and all that. But you have to always consider the whole sentence whenever any question is asked. Byproduct का part of speech बताओ. After this, I'll make you revise a rule. Okay? It is a noun. Okay? Tragic byproduct. Tragic what? Byproduct is your noun here. There is a rule that we learn in nouns. Okay? So this is the use of apostrophe S, when to repeat and when to not repeat. New Delhi's apostrophe S and Srinagar's responses. Responses plural है. which means Srinagar ka response, the response from Srinagar and response from New Delhi were separate responses. And that's why we are repeating apostrophe S when we are using and. Okay? Please make sure that you follow this thing whenever you are writing something. You want to talk about separate ownership, okay, over the same thing or set of things, but there are two different things, two different people owning that main noun, तो आपको repeat करना पड़ेगा apostrophe s. Okay, ठीक है. I'll give you another question now. Part of speech of this word. Part of speech. No. This is verb third form past participle as adjective. Okay. So you treat it and check it that way. Are carried, ये verb हो गया. Carried out by whom? By elements. Elements कैसे हैं? Radicalized हैं. Already they are in the mindset of being radical. So this is verb third form past participle as adjective. And the last question for this round is this word, part of speech. Yes, this is adjective because we are getting to know more about the word terrorism. Ism ending words and ism suffix is these words are always noun. So sporadic incidents of terrorism. What kind of terrorism? Targeting them. So targeting is helping us know more about noun, hence adjective. Okay, let's go through the summary part. So the editorial reflects on the Pahalgam terror attack and the message it carries. Okay, the message it carries is important. A deliberate attempt to fracture social fabric of India and disrupt economic political progress. So it was not just a random act, but a सोचा समझा plan हुआ है. The killing of tourists based on religion and murder of a local Kashmiri helping them underscore the attackers' intent. They wanted to spread fear and damage of livelihoods. Editorial urges both New Delhi and Srinagar to act in unison, restore statehood, that is the demand or maybe our demands that author is asking, empower local population. The editorial also warns against assuming an absence of major violence means true normalcy and stresses that only inclusive governance and coordinated security response can counter radicalization and terrorism in the valley. So he says the option that we have here is to work in inclusion, to work together, and that's how and in coordination to make the place secure, make the valley secure. Some question, some essay topics and some descriptive topics that you can get to see. So terrorism and economic destabilization in Kashmir. There you go. Abrogation बहुत पूछा गया था few years back when that was the hot topic. So now this could be asked. What constitutes normalcy? What do you understand by normalcy in conflicted regions or a region? Restoring statehood to JNK. This could be a very specific but could be asked. Tourism as a target, strategic impacts of terror on soft power. So, how does terrorism relates to this part? Let's see how well your memory serves you to have to answer these questions. Make sure to like and share, guys. Answer is A. What is the central message? A. Conveyed by Pahalgam terror attack. Message by the attack according to editorial. It was a message to undermine India's pluralism and economic recovery. It was a question on that, and that's what we get to see. It reflected a regional fight for autonomy. Where was autonomy mentioned anyhow? Author is even asking us to, or people in a way, to work in hand in hand with Srinagar. So A is your answer. Answer is C. What does the editorial suggest about the term normalcy? It's a relative term, better felt than declared. That is, he was talking about we have to experience it, okay? Not merely the absence of violence. C is the correct answer. Question number 3. Answer is B. Which of the following best explains why the attack during the US president visits was strategically significant? To undermine India's global image of peace and economic recovery. है ना? Yeah. मिलिटरीली इंटरवेंशन की बात नहीं थी कोई. ऑटोनॉमी वापस से नहीं है. क्लाइमेट इश्यूज इररेलेवेंट ऑप्शन. फोर्थ वन. Answer to this one, fourth one is C. What? Yes, Tarun, I agree, but this is not the exam paper I'm giving. This exercise is only meant to enable newcomers, especially, but of course, everyone to retain facts in mind. Okay? We are not doing mock test over here. Even the error detection questions are very simple just to make sure students know the rules. So, what long term measure does editorial recommend for isolating radical elements? So here, of course, it's clear that restoring statehood and promoting cooperative governance was clearly mentioned by author. Yeah, we will shortly be doing other things also. I mean, you should join SBI PO main session. All of you who want to challenge their question solving ability. Answer to the fifth one is C, bereft of militancy. So what term does the editorial use to describe new areas being targeted that were previously free from militancy? Bereft of militancy. This is the term he used, okay? This question was just about the term, nothing more than that. Start working on error detection. First question is in front of you. Answer to this one is no error. The valley has witnessed what? Sporadic incidents of what? Violence. Violence that challenge the notion, but violence cannot challenge the notion. Incidents can challenge. I'll get back to this thing. Challenge what? The notion of complete normalcy. So sometimes in the case of a relative pronoun, like here we are getting that जो कि relative pronoun है and challenge is the verb. Sometimes you may get your antecedent somewhere little far away from the word that, not immediately before that. From the meaning, the context, what is there that can challenge the notion of complete normalcy? Violence cannot challenge the notion. Such incidents happening that are related to violence, incidents are challenging the notion, and that's how I understand this was absolutely correct structure. Yeah, good job. Come on, guys, super duper easy. What else do you want here? Yes, we don't use despite of, we use only despite. Or you can use in spite of. अगर off रखना है, somebody thinks like चलो यार off looks nice, let it be there, so let us keep it. In spite कर दो, but of course this combination nah, never. Of tragic attack, despite the attack, both New Delhi and Srinagar is urged to act together to preserve harmony. Now both के साथ में R आता है, but this is just the tricky situation here that despite the attack, both of them आर बोलना ओके ठीक है आर बोल दो यहाँ पे, क्योंकि अगर यहाँ पे अगर हम बोथ बोल रहे हैं न्यू दिल्ली एंड श्रीनगर को टैंडम में काम करना है, इन दैट केस वी कुड हैव कंसीडर देम कमिंग टुगेदर एंड अर्जिंग, बट एट द सेम टाइम बोथ भी यहाँ है, सो ऑफ कोर्स टू एरर्स वर देयर, यहाँ पे आर भी आएगा. ओके मुझे बोथ हटा देना था, मैं बोथ हटा नहीं पाई. Why that emoji? अभी आला सोचो. Answer here is something I have taught, I think, yesterday or day before yesterday, at least this week. So the attackers targeted tourists and tried, I told you, we say tried to do something. So tried to undermine. Okay, it's not gerund that will come after try. So हमने ये सेम टाइप का रूल के ऊपर बेस एक क्वेश्चन किया था few days back or yesterday I think. But yes, faith in the idea of what? National unity and religious tolerance. Unity, tolerance, noun with adjectives. सब बढ़िया. ट्राई के साथ टू प्लस वी वन इन्फिनेटिव लगता है. वी यूज इन्फिनेटिव विथ ट्राई एज अ वर्ब. हैप्पी टू सी किसी को याद है ये रूल. कोई बात नहीं. वी लर्न एज वी ग्रो. We grow as we learn. In fact, both the relationships are there. Can you give me the correction? So answer is indeed C. While international attention focused on India's growing stature, the attacked. In this case, if you say the attacked, it would mean the people who were attacked. Okay, the with an adjective can be used for a whole group. Okay, and group कौन सा है वो adjective describe करता है, like the poor, the rich, the attacked. So the attacked sought to derail the narrative of peace. Victims didn't seek for this thing, but the attack itself was meant to derail the narrative of peace. So attack आना था यहाँ पे noun वाला attack, not the plus adjective that acts as a noun. Okay. Last question. Last one. Jammu and Kashmir's economy. See, this time it's not the separate place, na? So we haven't used double apostrophes. So, anyways, economy depends on tourism, not in tourism. Dependent. ये सब अपने पीछे on लेते हैं. Which has suffered how greatly because of what? Due to what? Instability. Yeah. So depends on. Okay. Relies on. There are certain verbs, they have their fixed preposition after them, like so. Okay. Thank you so much. We are done here. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow now, same time. And Monday to Saturday, these amazing classes are going on for you guys, where everything just at one place in one class you are getting. So why not to spread the word? Bring your friends, your peers with you next time onwards. Okay.